first of all, to officially welcome to a little candlelight flow, a little funky flowy vinyasa. So I'm going to start in a child's pose, and you could make your child's pose a little bit softer by throwing some pillows or a blanket in underneath your knees. Oh. For me, sometimes it just takes a second, you know, kind of unwind the top of the ankles. Oh, I like the toes a little closer together, not necessarily touching, but you might want yours to touch. I like the knees a little wider apart. And for this first one, at least, kind of with the arms in a position that's comfortable for you. And if your hips sort of settle all the way back to your heels, cool. If they don't, they don't. So you just are going to take a few moments before I go like way down in here where it's hard to hear because I'm talking into the floor. Give yourself like a little permission to be a little fluid with this. You can wobble side to side. You can come out of the pose and come back into the pose. Tune into your breath. And feel the breath moving, kind of, you know, back and forth, up and down the spine. One of the things I love about child's pose as a beginning point is that I can, like, there's kind of this, almost like my back kind of fluffs up and rounds with the inhale, and then with the exhale I get sort of settled back into the earth a little deeper. A couple more breaths right there. And you're going to wander your hands over to the left so that your right side gets a good long stretch, and then you can kind of play with this a little bit, going in and out. Rolling the armpit down a little bit more, up a little bit more. I like to leave the arm that's on the side. I'm going kind of as a structure or support. You might want to reach that guy all the way out to the side. Okay. Oh. Now, go ahead and let this left arm become just a little bit more structured and supported. We're going to tuck the right toes under and kick that right leg all the way out straight. Peel ourselves up, and now you can stay up on the elbow, or you can actually come all the way up onto the hand here, and then just open out your side. So that right side now has a whole different sort of feeling. And then we're just going to spiral it all the way back into child's pose and see what happened. And that's feels good enough that I want to do it again. So we're going to take a walk over to the right side. And again, I'm going to leave my right elbow kind of so there's a little structure, and I can use my left side to just sort of get mobile and long and stretchy. And then keeping the arm nice and strong, I'm going to extend my left leg out. And I might stay right there on that elbow, right? Or maybe it feels okay to come all the way up to the hand and then, stretch out that left side. And play with your spine and your side waist. And, the leg. And then we're just going to spiral that back into a child's pose. Give it a moment. You can, if it feels better, bring your arms around this way for the second round. Sometimes I like to do this, make a little diamond and just put my forehead right in the diamond. That feels really nice. All right. So we're going to come into a little little tucked under toe position. And then we're gonna come up onto the knees, right on? So if you can keep your toes tucked under, keep them tucked under. If they don't want to tuck under, that's fine too. And then we're gonna take left hand to the left hip. Now, before we go too far, take your left fist and just massage the left side of your back as high up as you can reach, all the way down to that hip. Now I'm gonna put my hand like right on the top rim of my hip. You can leave your fist right there. We're gonna take this right arm, we're gonna lift it up, and it's almost like we're gonna go into camel, and I'm gonna reach towards this heel if I want to, or keep the hand right there. We're just gonna look down towards that left heel, stretch this right side belly out. And I'm pressing back through my heels to kind of stretch through my toes. Again, if it feels better, just leave the tops of your feet on the floor. That'll be fine. Oh, and then we're gonna come on out there and go back to child's pose. Do a couple little cat shapes or snaky shapes inside your child's pose. Just feel that. What happened? Oh. How did that go, yogis? Oh, felt kind of good, really. Oh. Now, we're going to do it again, but on the other side. So we're going to stand up on the knees. Oh, maybe toes are tucked under. Maybe you got flat feet this time. Take this right hand and just get your knuckles in there and give yourself a little massage. Oh, that feels good. It's just nice to touch. Oh, some of those places that sometimes get a little stiff or tight. Okay, so then we're going to work our way. I'm looking down towards my right heel, maybe letting that arm drip back, maybe keeping my hand there for support, and then stretching this whole left side out. Oh. Getting an up close and personal look at this plant. As I kind of stare down past its leaf towards my foot. Take one more big breath. Oh, and then we're going to come back to our friend, the child's pose. Oh. And again, some little cat shapes. Oh. Little snaky shapes. And then settle into a child's pose that feels like, yeah. Reach your arms out really far. We're going to come forward into Cobra. We're going to lift, anchor through the legs. Oh, come on back down. Take your hands out nice and wide so the fingertips can point any way you like. I tend to like mine out to the side, and you're making like a little suction cup. I call these spider hands, but if spiders bother you, call them cupcake hands. Like imagine you have a cupcake and you have to make a cage around it, and you don't want to smush the frosting. You'll get there. So Cobra, right shoulder goes in. You can look up towards that left shoulder. Come on back. Left shoulder comes in. Look up towards that right shoulder. Ooh, let's do that one more time. Right shoulder, lift. Left shoulder, lift. Oh, come on back. And we're going to take ourselves back into that child's pose again. Oh. Oh, that felt good. All right, so we're going to let ourselves come up to all fours. We're going to do some circles with the ribs going out to the side, coming up around the back, going over to the side and swooping it around the bottom. Out, up, over, swoop. Out, up, over, swoop. Other direction, out, up, over, swoop. Out, up, over, swoop. I don't know if those make you make noises or not, but they make me groan. All right, we're going over to the side. We're going to come back to the center. We're going to stack it back up on the knees. Again, you can tuck your toes under if you like. And we're going to do some little flowy camel-y shapes. Half camels. So I'm going to send my hips back. And then I'm going to put left hand to the left hip. Right hand reaches up. Let it come back towards the camel shape. Come on out of there. Pulsate it a couple times. right hand's on the right hip, left arm's coming up, so I come over, into that little camel shape. Don't go too crazy, it's early yet. Pulsate it a couple times. And then left hand, left hip. You could, if you want to, reach down for that foot, take it up and over. Bring it back, pulsate it a couple times. All right, right hand to right hip. Maybe you reach all the way down for that heel, coming over. Coming back. Pulsate it a couple times. We're gonna do it one more time on each side. Here we go. Left hand, left heel or left hip. Right side stretches. Is it too early for camel? Left heel, left hand, left hip if you like, or right hand, sorry, and then reach that left side out into the stretch. And then, we're gonna take that thing back to that child's pose. That felt good. Give yourself a few little side to sides. Reach out through your arms, come all the way forward into your cobra shape. Pressing back through the legs, lift. Come on down. Arms reach out. Lift right shoulder, left shoulder, right shoulder, left shoulder. Come on back. Now, we're going to pause with this little cobra, and we're going to take this right leg. Yeah, I think I'll do the left leg first. That way you'll be able to see what I'm up to. So we're going to bend, you're going to bend whichever one you want. I'm going to do the left one. So we're going to take this left knee and bend it. We're going to take the left foot around behind us, and then we're going to sit all the way up. So that, we're sitting with one leg. Now I'm really close to my credenza. You might have a little more room. All right, so I'm going to press my left knee, left upper arm into that left side, and then let my right hand find a little spot, get regal, turn that right leg on. Hopefully you can see what I'm up to here. And then I have to move just a little bit. You might not have to move, but I'm gonna drop this left leg open, and then we're gonna fold out Janushirasana. So if you want, you can bring this foot right up in against your groin. You can grab hold of this big toe, lengthen out through your heart. See if you can fold your pelvis forward. You might not have hold of anything, y'all. It might look like this. That is perfectly fine. Whatever it looks like is what it looks like. What we're looking for is that sense of length. And then you're gonna fold forward in whatever way makes sense. Take one more breath here. Okay, now, the crazy bit of this is we're gonna flip that thing all the way back around to our cobra. And feel, are your two sides different? Because mine are different. Inhale, lift into cobra. Exhale, hands out, lift. Right shoulder, left shoulder, once more, right shoulder, left shoulder, okay. And then we're gonna take the right leg and bend it and bring it around and leaving it on the floor. We're gonna follow it all the way through, and hopefully you can still see me. Sit up tall. We're gonna push this right arm into that right inner thigh. Take your left hand behind you, get tall. You might even look back. Press those together. And then we're gonna unwind that. Drop this leg open. Adjust the foot, adjust your hip. You might reach out, lift your heart up. You might not reach for anything. It might be like this, whatever it is. And then you're gonna try to fold forward. Rinse out any tension from your neck. One more breath. All right, so we gotta go all the way back where we came from. So we're coming up, we're going up and over with that right leg. Finding that cobra again. Inhale. Hands out wide. Right shoulder. Left shoulder. One more time. Right shoulder. That's good. left shoulder. All right, and then we're going back. Oh, to child's pose. Checking that thing out, baby. Woo, yogis. Oh, that feels nice. All right, friends. Oh, we're going to float ourselves up to all fours. We're going to take a couple more rounds of those circular rib cage moves. 3 in each direction. Oh. I'm hoping you can see what I'm up to. I'm trying to essentially, like my rib cage is one of those spirograph things. I don't know if you had those when you were a kid, but just turning my rib cage around inside that big plastic circle, going over and around. In this case, the circle is the range of motion that I have in my joints. One more time in that same circle. Oh, now, when you get to the bottom, we're going to just kind of give this whole thing a little bit more core strength. You're going to tuck your toes. Now, I like my hands shoulder distance apart with my fingers spread out. And then as I come up into down dog, keep the knees a little soft and lengthen back. Now feel your shoulders and your shoulder, up on your back. Move them around, up and down. And then get them on your back to a place that feels like they're nice and sturdy. Your neck is nice and long. Press the palms into the floor if you can. Start to straighten out the legs. And we're going to add these little dancey moves. Just kind of back and forth with the hips. Oh. And then we're going to kind of dance our way up to the top of the mat. So you're just going to add some dance moves. Back and forth. If you got music on, it'll be easier to dance. I'm just trying to sway my hips back and forth. Good, and then walk in a little closer to the top of your mat. Now I have no weight in my arms now. So now it's just me kind of going back and forth here. And let yourself sort of start to make a figure 8 with your hips. Kind of over in one direction, over in the other. And then the upper body can just follow along. It feels nice. If you're not dizzy yet, we're going to just take ourselves up halfway, and then we're going to fold. And we're going to let that sort of figure 8 with the hips keep going as we come all the way up. It might turn into some little figure 8. Figure 8s with the shoulders. Oh, if you have a head rush, give yourself time. Oh. And then, when you feel like you're ready, you're going to bring yourself to the top of your mat. Correct your wardrobe malfunctions. And we're going to find a mountain pose. Now I like to do this kind of back and forth on the feet, spreading out my toes. Oh. Finding myself really grounded. I've kind of planted my big toe, my pinky toe into the floor a little bit. And I'm letting my shoulders relax. And finding that sort of lift through the spine. And so you're just finding how you feel like a little mountain. If you want to do other things with your arms, that's fine. And one more breath just with this stable place. All right, so we're going to take a nice big inhale. Reach the arms up, and if you've got plants and things, you're just going to be mindful. We're going to take the left hand to the left thigh or left hip. Give yourself a little side bend over. Nice. Coming back, we're going to come into chair pose. Maybe the arms stay up, maybe they come down low. Beautiful. Come all the way back up to standing. Take the right arm down. Give yourself a little stretch to the right. Oh, coming back and into chair pose. Coming all the way up once again. Left hand. Oh, side stretch that right side. Chair pose. Oh, big stretch. Side stretch your left side. Chair pose. And then, fold forward. Come up halfway. Give yourself that nice feeling of a flattened back. Fold down. We're going to step ourselves back to down dog. Now, take that dog a little dance. And then we're gonna come forward and knees and chest and chin to the floor. And then scoop into your cobra pose. Oh, take your hands out wide. Lift, right shoulder, left shoulder, right shoulder, oh, left shoulder, coming back to the center. And then we're gonna take this right leg, we're gonna take it up and over, and oh. This time the way we're gonna do it, if we can, is we're gonna put the top of the foot on the floor. Let me scooch so you can see. Okay. So the top of the foot is on the floor, and we've got this kind of open stretch here. Foot's behind me. If your knee is telling you, then go ahead and put this back in the shape we did last time, okay? So we're gonna get ourselves settled. Take a nice big breath and stretch. So I'm going right hand over towards this left big toe. Opening it up, folding it in. Oh, open it up, fold it in. Good. Switch hands, open to the side, fold it in. Give yourself that big side bend, open to the side, fold it in, big side bend. Oh, coming all the way up. We're going all the way back around and into our cobra. Oh, maybe. And then hands out wide. Right shoulder and up. Left shoulder and up. Right shoulder and up. Left shoulder, oh, and up. All right, so then my left leg is coming around, right? I'm gonna get all the way up. Oh, I gotta move a little because I don't have a lot of room. And then I'm opening that leg out behind me in the gate pose. Ooh. Adjust. Make sure you and your knee agree. And then we're gonna take this left hand towards my right big toe. Fold in, lift up, oh, fold in, lift up. What's up, hamstrings? Fold in, switch hands. Okay, now this guy goes open and over, oh, open and over. One more time, open, oh, and over, oh. And then we're coming all the way back where we came from. Woo! And into cobra. And then the arms come out wide. And you lift, and we do a right shoulder, left shoulder twist, and back. Left shoulder, right shoulder twist, oh, and back one more time. Right shoulder, left shoulder, oh, that feels good. And back. Left shoulder, right shoulder, oh, and back. And then friends, we're going back to child's pose. It's only for a second. But oh, doesn't that feel good? Maybe it's not your jam, but dang, it feels nice. Oh. And then we're gonna bring ourselves to down dog. So you'll shift your dog around a bit. Give your dog some disco hips. Right, kind of bend the knees. Dance it out a little. And then again, we're gonna kind of walk this baby in. Dance it out a little. Walk it in. Dance it out a little. Put the weight in your legs. Dance it out a little. Oh. Can you make those figure 8 shapes with your hips? And maybe grab your elbows and let the whole upper body kind of go with. Oh. And then we're going to come up halfway. Okay, so as long as you're not too dizzy, let yourself dance it out all the way to the top. Oh. Oh. Ooh. Ooh. All right, yogis. Now, depending on where you are on your mat, you might need to take a little stroll up to the top of your mat. Oh. All right. So here we are. back in our mountain pose. Or maybe we're getting there anyway. Finding our way into mountain. Oh, spreading out the toes, spreading out the toes. Press those pinkies and big toes into the floor. Can the other toes lift while your pinky and your big toe squish down? It's not easy, but I like the effort of trying. And then pause for a moment again and kind of find your space here. Feeling that sense of being grounded, of being tall, of being like, oh, I'm not sure what the word that I'm looking for is, but it's like the sense that you have a right to take up this space. How's that? I don't know if there's one word to describe that, but that's the thing. Embody the space that you're in fully. Because this is your little spot, your connection to the planet Earth. And your connection to the sky. So without smacking any plants, we're going to reach them nice and high. We're going to take that left arm down, stretch the right side out. Come back, go to chair pose. Oh, take it up. Big stretch. Right arm comes down, left side stretches out. Oh, come back, take it to a chair pose. Once again, taking it, oh, left side stretch. Now, we come to chair pose, we're going to bring the hands to the heart. And we're going to twist towards that left side. Now some people can get their elbow all the way around this knee. What I'm going to do instead is hold on to it with this hand. Twist. Try not to let your leg go forward like that. Keep your hips as stable as you can. Lengthen. Keep your heart higher than your butt. You can lower your hips if you want more work. And then reach that arm out like a wing. And if your hands are in a position where you can touch the ground with one set of fingertips and reach up, cool. Do that. So you're going to just connect yourself from the earth of our legs up to the heaven of our arms. Nice big breath. Nice. Come on back. Woo, we're going to come all the way back up. Oh, give it a big stretch. Oh, arm comes down, right side stretch. Coming back to chair pose, hands to the heart. We're going to twist the other way. So again, you're turning. Watch how the hip might want to help. Bring the legs into place. Draw the thighs back. Heart is higher than the hips. Lengthen. Come around into your twist. Oh, working with the twist that you got in your body. Nice big breath. Exhale back to the center. Oh, one more time. We're going to come all the way up. Big long stretch. Oh, fold forward. Come up halfway. Lengthen. Exhale, fold. We're stepping back into down dog. Oh, take that dog to the disco. So give yourself a little, a little movement in the hips. And then we're coming forward. You can do the full vinyasa, or you can follow me, knees, chest and chin, coming into cobra. Now we're all coming here. So whatever you did, you're taking your arms out wide. And then we're gonna lift right shoulder, coming back, left shoulder, coming back, right shoulder, yep, oh, that feels good. Coming back, left shoulder, coming back, coming down, pushing ourselves back to child's pose. Oh, giving it a wobble. Oh. Now we're gonna take ourselves to all fours, bring this right leg forward, and come into a lunge. Pulsate forward and pulsate back. Pulsate forward, as long as it doesn't bother your knee to do so, or your hip for that matter. Don't go that far if it does. Pulsate, maybe even bow a bit. Pulsate forward, lift your heart. Pulsate and bow. Now this is one of the things that are going to get interesting. So we're going to turn. So it's almost like we're in a warrior two here. And this is where it could get interesting, because you could sit your hips all the way down to the ground and then pulsate back up to here. Ooh, you guys, there's a lot of sensation. So be careful, because I don't know how low you want to go. For me, that's low enough. And then come on back up. We're going to do it one more time. Pulsate down. Nice. And we're going to come up. Straighten out this leg, okay? This takes us into the gate shape on this tall knee. So we did the lower gate shape, now we're doing the upper gate shape. Same idea, just different position. We're gonna take this left hand or whatever hand you've got up in the air. We're gonna go all the way to the ground. If you can, you're gonna take this right leg up. Woo! It might get wobbly, yogis. Lift and give it a good stretch. Oh, and then we're going all the way back where we came from, and around, and into child's pose. I don't know how you feel about this, but oh, it feels really good. And can you feel the difference between your two hemispheres? Oh, that one side feels nice. All right, y'all, we're coming up the left leg. Starting with our lunge. Pulsing forward and pulsing back. Ooh. Pulsing forward and pulsing back. A little bow. Pulse forward. Pulse back. Oh, okay. This is the crazy one. So we're gonna turn. So the leg goes kind of at a diagonal, right? And we're kind of in this warrior two shape. It's like a kneeling warrior two. And then you're gonna see like how far into this, or is it okay to sit my hips? And then I'm gonna come back up. How far into this is it okay to sit my hips? And then I come back up. Yeah, how far in? Woo, that's intense. Coming back up. And then, oh, we're gonna turn this thing into our gate pose. So we're gonna, take the leg back, adjust as you need to, so your knee is okay with you. And then we're going out over this leg. And then this is the tricky bit. So we're gonna take the hand to the floor, maybe the elbow, maybe we can float that leg up and hold that balance. Oh, careful, it's wobbly. Last breath. Okay, yogis, we're coming all the way back around, ducking under the plant, and coming back into child's pose. Oh. Ooh. I need a moment. Oh, that's a lot on the groins. All right, yogis, reach your hands up. Come all the way forward. Come into your cobra. And then we're going to take the arms out and lift. And right shoulder, left shoulder. Oh. And then come back, left shoulder to right shoulder. Oh. And then come back one more time, right shoulder to left shoulder. Oh. Back, left shoulder to right shoulder. Oh. Come back. Ooh. Hold on, I need a drink of water. And then, my friends, we're going to go back to downward dog. Okay. Oh. Okay. Now, so here, we're going to dance. Let's give it a little dance. Oh. So again, we're going to start to move this dog. Now, if you want to hop, you can hop instead of doing this little down dog dance up to the top of the mat, or at least as far as I can get my down dog to dance up. Oh, it might not get all the way to the top before it turns into these little figure 8 hip circles. Oh. Oh. And then we're going to come up halfway. Exhale, fold. And again, just noticing how it feels for you. So we're going to try to kind of dance our way up. Oh. Oh, all the way to standing. Oh. Oh. All right. And then, if you're not already there, taking a little journey up to the top of your mat. And, oh, finding your mountain pose. Spreading out your toes. Feeling the earth beneath your feet. And it might be that you're like me and you're on a mat and you're on a carpet and there's the earth is down there somewhere. So feeling where it is down there somewhere. Oh, feeling your shoulder blades connect into your back. Get a little taller. And then we're going to reach the arms up. Oh, we're going to take that left side bend over. Oh, yeah. Then we're going to come to chair pose. Stretch it back up. Right side bend over. Oh. Come into chair pose. Hold and steady with that chair pose. We're going to take all the weight into this right leg. We're going to bring the left leg up. It might cross at the shin. It might cross at the thigh. And then we're going to hold that balance. Theoretically. It's possible we won't hold the balance and we'll fall. In which case, and come back when you're ready. And you got yourself steady. Oh, I'm a poet. And I didn't know it. So 2 more breaths if we can do it. Oh, this side is wobbly tonight. Oh, last one. All right, so this is going to be an interesting experiment because we're going to try to lift this left leg and step back into a high lunge without breaking a tooth. Oh, yeah. Bend your back knee a little bit. Lift through the pelvis. Try to get the hips nice and turned forward. Oh, and then we're going to lean forward into this and hold steady. Keep that core strong. Reach. Press back through your heel. All right, now like we're pulling back a bow. We're going to swing the left heel and we're going to come to warrior 2. Oh. And doesn't warrior 2 feel kind of light and amazing when you've done that thing on your knees? Because it certainly does to me. It's just much nicer. It's really nice. Come on back to reverse warrior. And over into a side angle. Adjust as you need. Coming back. And over into side angle. Now, we're going to straighten out this leg. And we're going to come into a triangle pose. You can use support if you like from yoga props. Or you can free flow it with no yoga props. Your shoulder might be a little tight tonight. So maybe you give it a little love before you bring it all the way into that triangle pose. Oh, that feels nice, yogis. So we'll take one more big breath here. Good. Now, we're going to turn this into a balance. This is a full moon. We should do at least a half a moon balance. So, coming up. Oh, and maybe you don't even need the floor. And you get into this balance and you, that leg's getting tired. Reach up nice and high. Whee! And then we're going to come on back to down dog. Oh, feel where that landed us. Oh man, that feels so good. When it's over, it feels amazing. All right, so we're coming into either that full plank, knees, chest, chin, or your chaturanga. Coming into your cobra. Whew, we're not done yet. Take those fingers out wide. Lift up. Right shoulder to left. Left shoulder to right. Right shoulder to left. Left shoulder to right. Good, come on back. To child's pose. Feel that. Doesn't that feel good? Kind of trying to connect to, it's just kind of seed or kind of earthy shape. All right, let's take this thing to down dog. And then we're gonna dance this dog, kids. And as you dance it, move it all the way forward. Or move your hands back to your feet. Okay. And then at some point, you make a figure 8 with your hips and let everything go along for the ride. keep going. Oh yeah, let's put our little half back in there just to let our head adjust. And then we'll keep going so we don't get dizzy at the top here. Oh. 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 Uh-huh. Oh. Get funky, yogis. Oh. Yep. And then we're going to take a little funky journey up to the top of the mat. And we'll find our way into a mountain pose. And just notice. Doesn't this mountain pose feel different than the first one we did? Oh, it's cool, y'all. All right, here we go. We're gonna lift the arms. Oh, we're gonna take it over to the left. Oh, nice big wide right side stretch. Oh, chair pose. Up and then over to the right. Oh. Coming back, chair pose. Now, again, we're gonna shift the weight into this left leg. We're gonna bring the right one up on top. And we're gonna try to hold that balance. It might get wobbly, y'all. It might work out okay. Oh. Hold it steady. I'm making eye contact with this horse painting on the side of on my wall over here. You might have a drishti at your house somewhere. You can just kind of hold your gaze. All right, here we go. We're gonna pick this leg up. We're gonna step ourselves back, hopefully into a high lunge without breaking anything. And then a triumphant high lunge. Bend your back knee, bring the hips all the way around. Okay, so then we're leaning into this, press back through your heel, feel the core, oh, lengthen, zip, zip, zip. Oh, if you don't fall down first. Oh, zip, zip, zip. Okay, and then like we're pulling back at both, so I'm gonna, eventually, wind up in warrior two, coming back to reverse, and over to side angle, and back to reverse, and over to side angle, oh yeah, and back to reverse, and over to side angle, and then I'm gonna turn this into a triangle, one way or another. And again, you just work your way into triangle in the way that you like. If you've got a special triangle, get into it your special way. I like to shake it up a little bit, and sometimes do it one way, and sometimes do it a different way, and then, see what happens. And we're all gonna be a little different, because we're all a little different. Nice big breath. All right, yogis. We're turning this into a half moon balance. 1, 2, maybe. This leg might be tired, but let's see if it'll give us just a couple more moments. Lift with this hip. Stretch. Ooh. Put that leg down now before we go to downward dog. We're gonna turn this into a wide angle forward bend. So turn your feet until it feels like they're the right space for you. It might be turning them in is better, it might be turning them out is better. And then you're gonna let yourself hang through the space, see what's underneath you. And we're gonna let this get a little loose and a little flowy. Now, take yourself and walk it all the way back around to downward dog. So we're gonna turn it, coming on back. And then we're gonna come forward into a plank. And again, you can do this with the knees, chest, and chin. If you wanna try something interesting, try this. Right leg up, and then chest and chin to the ground, And then bring this left foot up and see if you can make contact. And hold that steady. For 3, 2, 1, and then, oh, let's melt that into Cobra. Ooh. Oh. And then, oh, hands out wide. And we're gonna lift, and right shoulder to left side, and left shoulder to right side, and right shoulder to left side. Ah, it's getting looser as I go along tonight. And then the other. Beautiful. Now we're gonna come back to down dog. Oh. We're gonna take this right leg up. So I'm bringing my foot kind of in on that left side. We're gonna bring the knee in, hug it in. Good, stretch it back. Bring it in, hug it in. Stretch it back. Bring it in, hug it in, and then plant your shin on the floor for a pigeon. Now, if pigeon is not your jam, friends, you can flip your bird upside down. Just turn it over. So I'm gonna put this pillow under my hip, and then I'm gonna melt this back leg all the way back until it gets pretty good. Now you can stay up here for a back bendier version. You can go down lower for more of a forward bendy version. You can grab your back foot if you want to add on to your quad stretch. It's intense. I like to do a kind of in between. So put some blocks and then rest the elbows on the blocks so that I can kind of play a little bit with the hips and try to find the spot that feels like, yeah, right there. And breathe. I don't know if y'all are sweaty, but I'm sweaty. Vinyasa yoga makes me sweat. I've always been, I love to teach hot yoga, but I'm always sort of like, how do people not sweat all the time? Buckets and buckets of sweat. But the heat makes my joints feel young, so there's something to be said for that. So we're gonna take one more big breath here. All right, yogis, we're leaning into this bent leg hip. We're bringing this back leg around. We're gonna put it up on top. And again, we're gonna do a twist this time. Like our last twist, we turned open, right? So this time we're gonna turn in towards the leg. So you can line your legs up a little tighter. For me, I need more room. So lean back a little bit, get tall, twist around, and then bring yourself up and find whatever you can find to position your hand in the back. Now do this, like roll that shoulder forward and back a few times. Rinse out any tension. See if you can get the shoulder to more or less live on your back. Hold on with your elbow or your hand to get taller, a little more regal. Now we're gonna move the head as we go, okay? Keep the torso where it is. Turn the head over the front shoulder. And then when you're ready, pulsate it around, bring it towards the back shoulder. And then turn your head towards the front shoulder. And then turn it towards the back shoulder. And I like to do this with my eyes closed, but you can keep yours open. Because with my eyes closed, it helps me feel things a little more in depth. Take in one sense out. I can really feel the sensation in my neck and in the relationship between my neck and my shoulders here. Oh, okay, so pausing where you think you should pause, whether it's looking out over the back or looking out over the front. We're gonna do 2 more breaths, get a little taller. Last big inhale. And then we're gonna unwind this whole thing. Ooh, nice. Oh. Now, this leg that's on the bottom, we're going into that knee. So for me, it's the right one. And then I'm taking my right hand back here behind me. I'm gonna get up onto this knee. And it's sort of like a little bit like that sort of flip dog shape. So reach out through this foot, reach out through here. Oh, nice. And then we're gonna cycle it all the way around and come back to child's pose because it's been our touchstone all night long. Oh, it feels so good to come back home. Oh. And And then we're going back to down dog so we can do the other side, y'all. Taking it back. All right. So, we got to come forward into that knees, chest, and chin, or plank. Again, you could put your knee on the ground here. Where's the other one? It's the other one. Right leg back, left leg is up, chest and chin come to the floor, and then maybe if your right knee is willing, it can come up and hug the foot into that shin. My right knee is telling me no. So I'm just gonna reach through this leg. And then, we're gonna come into the cobra. And then take the hands out wide. And again, we're coming up. Right shoulder to left side. Left shoulder to right side. Right shoulder to left side. Might be the last time we're doing this, I don't know. And then we're taking it back to down dog. Oh, baby. The left leg goes up. Bring it in. Round up. Take it back. Left leg goes up. Bring it in, round it. One more time. Take it back. Bring it in, put it down. And then, you can get free of your pants. You can slide back into your pigeon shape. And again, like, take a moment, yogis. Find your way in. Sometimes one side is a little more forgiving for me than the other. This side is usually a little softer, a little bit more easygoing. This hip, the right hip has got more muscle, more resistance. I like to refer to my right hip as the moray eel hip, and my left hip as my octopus hip. Moray eels seem like they're like really muscular and strong and slightly fierce. An octopus can squeeze themselves into tiny little spaces and very quickly change shapes. And it feels like that's true in terms of my two limbs as well. So we're gonna take let's go for about another 30 seconds here. About 4, maybe 5 breaths. And if you're realizing, I should change this up, change it up, roll it over. It's gonna be fine. All right, yogis, take a nice big inhale. With your exhale, we're just gonna kind of morph this back leg around and bring it up front. Okay. Now, adjust, lean back, get tall, turn, kind of bring yourself back up into place and hold on. And again, you may want to do like a little bit more of sort of a release, especially around your upper back. That's really where we're trying to get the twist to go, not down here in the lower back. We want the twist in the upper part of the back. So freeing any tension that's living there. And then your head is going to take that journey towards the front shoulder and towards the back shoulder. And again, you're here, moving around, checking out your pose. Yoga poses are not statues. I've said this 100 times or more. They're coral reefs. There's living tissue around a bony frame here. We're not trying to be a statue. What we are trying to do is explore our ability to pay attention to details. Now pick one. So I'm going to pick the front again because it's feeling nice. And pause and breathe and notice the details of the breath. Can you feel how it might be different in the way it moves through your left side and your right side? Or which nostril might be more dominant right now? Alright, so we're going to unwind this twist. Whew. We're going to turn this into kind of we can almost side plank, almost wild thing, rock star kind of shape. Oh, I'm gonna leave my foot on the ground, so I just gotta find a good spot for it. And then, create a situation where you feel nice and stable so you can get this rainbow, nice big stretch out through your side. And then this time we're gonna sit it down into a wide angle seated forward bend, okay? So, like that. And I have to get a little like, rock a little bit of flesh out from underneath my butt and get right onto those bones. Now, some of us, when the legs go wide, the pelvis immediately goes backwards. It's genetic. It's the way your bones are shaped. So there's a couple of options. You can sit up on high objects like a pillow or a blanket, folded up blanket, and that will elevate your hips and it might give you a little bit more space. Or you can bend the knees and put something like a yoga block or a throw pillow underneath the knee, and that might give you the ability to move the pelvis a little bit forward, because now we've shifted the relationship of the bones. It's also possible that it would be better for you to do this pose where the feet are together instead. So choose the one that's right. I am going to do the wide angle, but I'm gonna put a little bit of support under my knees. So I've got this little blanket. I'm gonna roll it up and slide it in right there so I don't hyperextend my knees. Okay, so then get yourself nice and tall. See if your pelvis will come forward at all. There are people who can rotate their pelvis so far forward that their belly touches the ground, and that's probably where you should stop. So for the rest of us, we're gonna stop before that moment happens. So we're just gonna pause here. Now, enliven the legs. So we're gonna reach out through the feet, spread out the toes. You don't have to jam your knees backwards. Again, I'm keeping that little bend in my knee so that I can just kind of work with, almost like I'm digging my heels in a little bit, okay? So I can bring my pelvis a little more forward, staying a little more active in the legs, because this is more of a yang style class, right? We can put a little yin in, because, you know, there's always that little circle of the other inside of each half in the Tao. But for me, the yin is in the upper body, and the lower body is doing this really beautifully powerful muscular shape. Now, if I want, I can reach in there, maybe grab the feet, or grab the ankles, or grab the calf muscles, whatever you got, you know, within reach. Oh, some people put a strap around their feet, push on the strap and pull a little bit, and that can be interesting. Just be mindful of your back. Oh, and your hip joints, and everything else for that matter. So last breath here. And then I'm gonna just surrender for a moment, let everything get soft, and then I'm gonna walk myself backwards and roll up. And along the way, I might want to throw in some of those dance moves from earlier. Now, yogis, it's almost Shavasana time. It's not yet Shavasana, not yet, but close. So before we get there, we're gonna roll down onto our backs. And you might want to have a strap handy, because we're gonna do some interesting shapes with a twist, potentially. You don't have to, I'll give you options. But if you have a handy strap, you can grab your yoga strap. Dog leashes also make great yoga straps, but you know, something that is long and gives you a little handle. So bring yourself onto your back. We're not there yet though. Just have it nearby. And I have to unwind the knot in my hair so that I can rest myself on the floor here a little more comfortably. All right. So we're just gonna start with these, like windshield wipery legs, y'all. And kind of get this sense of movement that's happening, right? Can you feel how there's kind of this flowing sense of movement? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get the hips up off the floor a little bit. So snuggle your shoulders underneath you and pick your hips up, and we're gonna ride on the heels. So the toes are in the air. We're gonna ride on the heels. We're just gonna spin the hips from side to side. Just take them from side to side, sort of like you're riding a half pipe. And just let the feet kind of turn with you. Yep. You can do a loop And then we're going to try to roll down one vertebrae at a time. You're going to go really slow. Now I can feel I'm right up here at this vertebra, right up here behind my heart. I'm going to put the next one down, and then the next one after that. And I'm still right about here. So I'm going to put the next one down. Now I'm almost to my belly button. There it is. And then I'm going to go, oh, now I'm at the lumbar, okay? Now my flesh is touching the ground, but my spine is not. So I'm going to roll those down nice and slow, one at a time. The lumbar is a little tricky because it likes to work as a unit. Okay, the top of my sacrum just hit the ground. And now I'm going to let the whole sacrum come back to its neutral curve. Right on? And so the more we can work the teeny tiny vertebrae in the back, the more we get into these really tiny little muscles that live in between the vertebrae and give us this kind of feeling of fluid movement in our spine instead of being kind of stiff and tight. So we're going to take that right leg and stretch it out. We're going to take this left knee and bring it in, and we're going to take it across into a twist. Now, this is where things could get interesting. So you have two options. Option number one is you can try to hold on to this big toe and straighten that leg all the way up and just do that one. And you can use your strap for that, right? So you have a little bit more room. Or you can bring this right leg around and try to hold on to that foot. And if you can't reach the foot, then you can use your strap for that part. So that you've got this almost camel shape going on here, coming back to that pose we did right at the very beginning. Bringing that right leg back, and then maybe, extending that left leg out into the longer stretch here. Maybe none of this is right. And you do a softer twist. So we're just creating a shape. This is called the cat pulls its tail, and it's a little bit on the extreme side here. We can soften it up quite a bit, but we're going to do that in just a second. So 2 more breaths with whatever version of this cat pulls its tail you're up to. Now relax this whole thing, okay? And then you're just going to wind that top leg or kind of over and under that bottom leg. Get your shoulders all the way onto the ground. Reach out through both arms. We're going to do left shoulder, right shoulder, left shoulder, right shoulder. A little bit like those little scorpion, cobra twisty things we did earlier. And then we're going to turn the head if we can to the left. And let your body turn into wet sand. Just get heavy. Now this is all too much. Just come out of there, y'all. Head back to the middle with your exhale. Bring your legs back to the center. I'm going to slip the strap off while I'm at it. Now yogis, we're not going to child's pose, but you can bring yourself into the upside down version of child's pose. Give yourself a little hug and see how it went. We're going to do the other side. So starting with that cat pulls its tail version. So I'm going to use my strap on the leg going behind me, right? Because for me, that's the better version. And then, I gotta jiggle myself into place. I might be able to do this leg, but probably this one's not going to go all the way straight. So, okay, I'm close. Close, but not completely straight. So I'm just going to use my furniture and hold on to my calf muscle, because what the heck, I can. I'm allowed to. I'm in my own house. And then breathe. What I love about this is that there's this crazy stretch right in that butt cheek. And then I'm getting some nice quad action on this leg that's on the bottom. Whew, it's good, y'all. And you might be feeling mostly hamstrings because that sometimes happens too. Oh, we got 2 more breaths. Oh, 1 more. All right, so we're gonna lighten this whole thing up. We're gonna take this top leg, see if we can wrap it once or maybe twice around that bottom leg. Get your upper back all the way on the floor. If you like, you could take some softer things and stick them in underneath body parts. On this side, I need a little help because it's a little tighter. Okay, and then turn your head if you can to your right. Little shoulder action, just releasing the shoulders. Releasing your neck. Turn into wet sand. We're almost to Shavasana now, baby. Almost there. Hang on, yogis. Just breathe and release. We're going to take another breath. All right, friends, we're going to bring the head back to the middle. We're going to unwind the legs and bring the legs back to the middle. And then we're going to give ourselves a little release here. Now, the question you have to ask yourself is, what do I need to make my final relaxation, my Shavasana, just right? Do I need to take my phone and go get into my bed? Because I know that I am going to fall asleep during this Shavasana. Then you should go get in your bed, yogis. You can do Shavasana in your bed. As long as there's not another person in there trying to do other stuff, then you can pull it off. You've got a spouse who's trying to read, that could be harder. I'm going to put a blanket underneath my legs because that helps my low back relax a little bit. And then I'm going to put like the tiniest little bit of support under my neck. So I'm going to take my yoga mat and I'm just going to roll up the end of it here until I've got like the tiniest little bit of a roll. For some reason, and I think this has to do with the vagus nerve, but I am not positive. But when I put the tiniest bit of support under those ridges of my skull, my whole nervous system goes, aw, yeah. So see if it's true for you. Like and you don't want it too much. If the support is too big, it'll push your head into a funky position. You want your chin to stay level. You just want to feel like the back of your skull has this little cup of support. And then adjust your arms until you're comfy. Adjust your legs until you're comfy. Take a breath and then out with a sigh. You might have to do that twice to get your whole nervous system to let go. And then let your body relax. For some of us, this is the hardest yoga pose we'll do. Right? Just letting yourself stay still and relaxed. But do it anyway. Like some of us need to push ourselves to try handstands. And some of us need to push ourselves to try Shavasana. It's the same thing. It's just two sides of the same coin. And so if it's a pose that sort of feels uncomfortable, not physically, but, you know, mentally, it usually means that it's a good one for you to try doing. Because it's pushing you outside your comfort zone a little bit. So give yourself permission to rest. because the nervous system needs you to help it shift into that deep parasympathetic state. And it's not just letting the front body relax, but it's also letting the back body find itself completely relaxed. If it ever feels like your shoulders want to curl up towards the back of your skull, that's an indication of this parasympathetic imbalance where we're not completely in that state where we're able to trust, let go, and relax. And it seems like it starts at the back body, so let your back body rest in the floor. And then let your heart and everything that's in there with it relax into that back body. Imagine that your brain is allowed to relax backwards into the deeper, wider back part of your skull. Feel the orbs of your eyes relax deeper into the sockets. Relax the muscles that live on the sides of your head, especially around your temples, all the way down to your ears. Let your lips get softer. Don't move yet, just notice again. Notice the breath. And just like at the very beginning, trace the pathway of the breath up and down the spine. Take a breath so deep you can feel it all the way to your toes. Let it go with a big sigh. Wiggle your fingers and toes. Stretch into the toes of the fingers. Oh, wiggle them again. Stretch into them. Oh, wiggle them again. And then let that turn into wrist and ankle movement. Oh, I love little circles with the wrist and ankles. And then stretch and take yourself over to the left one more time. Oh, and then over to the right one more time. Oh. And then bring your knees in and take one more upside down child's pose. Give yourself some love. Oh, yogis. Oh, I'm rolling over to my side for a second here. Oh, we'll take a moment to transition. Oh. So, for joining me. We're gonna do one big breath together. You ready? Here we go. Nice big inhale. Big deep sigh. Namaste, beautiful yogis.